Thanks, Jane. Do we need to do a quote or not? No, right, good. Um, Item 1 on the agenda is to confirm the minutes of the meeting of the 19th of April 21.
Report.
Second. So, Melanie and Mulvey. Item 2, matters arising from the minutes. Councillor Taylor.
Cathaoirleach, I'd just like to mention a bridge in Screen, Taylor's Bridge. I know it's an area of yours, Cathaoirleach. I was asked to mention it, I have to be honest. I went to see the bridge. It's very, very narrow. It's a very narrow bridge on a public road, and I can see where the concerns of the community are coming from, or the concerns of motorists are coming from, and families that live in that community. You had this on the agenda yourself before, but I would like to, I suppose, firstly support you in your efforts to maybe have some works carried out to this bridge. I went to look at it, and I do believe that it's very, very narrow, and I just honestly would think in this day and age, you know, that there could be funding to carry out works to it and make it wider. And I think it would be important to the people of that area. It's a very scenic area as well over there, and I think it would be of great importance to the people of the area. And it's extremely narrow. You'd have to see it to believe it, to be honest.
Just on that, maybe that Emer could have sent a technical group to have another look at it. The bridge, as you said, is narrow, but also the parapets are only 2 foot high, and a child could fall across it with a pram or anything. And it's a big 20-foot drop off the top of that then, so it's very dangerous. Thanks for raising that issue. Item 3, Councillor Mulvey.
Thanks, Cathaoirleach. Yeah, this is a motion that I had tabled back in 2020, and I know at that time it's regarding the back road in Ballymote at Stone Parks. There's a lot of people have contacted me about this, where you have a lot of traffic going up to the second level Corran College, the National School, Squalmorrigan Small. There's 2 housing estates, Marron Park with 58 plus houses and Earl's Court with 30 houses, and also the new primary healthcare facility. Now, there are a lot of elderly people living in the Marron Park estate, and also in the new estate, a lot of people with small children. And while a certain amount of traffic will go down the main street of Ballymote, this being the back road is used as a shortcut regularly for a lot of people that want to go to any of those said places. Now, I know back in 2020 it was said that a survey would be carried out and decide what calming measures could be put in place. And I do appreciate, having spoke with the area engineer Desi Stein out there, that it's not wide enough for footpaths, and I want to thank him. I know he's done some resurface repair works on it there in the last coming months, but the speed is a big problem for the people on the road. Cars are going up. It's an incline up the way, a little bit of a hill, so they tend to put down the shoe, go up very fast, and unfortunately coming down, you have a building on the corner which leaves it very blind. So again, really just asking, was there any outcome of that survey, and what measures, if any, can be put in place, because there needs to be something before there is an accident. Thanks, Cathaoirleach.
Councillor Mullaney.
Yeah, second on that proposal, I want to support Councillor Murphy on his motion. I think it's particularly dangerous around school time, particularly in the afternoon, when cars coming down from the health centre and from the housing estates, to avoid passing by the schools to go down the Stone Park Road. And as Councillor Murphy has said, it's very blind coming out onto the regional road. So I think traffic calming is essential there. Thanks, Guy.
Right. Is the report on that?
Cathaoirleach, unfortunately, we don't have funding at the moment to carry out traffic calming measures along this road, but funding may be applied for under a safety improvement work scheme in the future to implement the required improvements in that area.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Kincannon, for that. Well, if it could be included in an application, I think it would be greatly appreciated because, as said, there's a huge volume. There's a lot of, between schools, housing estates and the new health centre, a lot of people are using it. It's a shortcut to a lot of these facilities for the traffic, and unfortunately, would have been a shortcut. It's very, very busy, so hopefully something can be done with it. Thanks.
Item 4, Councillor Mulvey again. Councillor
This
Taylor.
is, I was contacted by some people who live along the road L4303, and it's where it comes out onto the regional or 296 road just outside Bunanadden. The sight line is very poor, and again, a lot of traffic coming from the Tubber direction along the R296. There's a pole on the left-hand side, and also the hedges are very overgrown. So just if something could be done to improve the sight line, because cars tend to have to go out a good bit on the road to get a clear vision.
Councillor Taylor. Mr. Karen.
Coherlock, various trimming of the junctions along the R294 and the R296 in the Bunanadden area has been arranged, and this work should improve access and egress from the L4303.
Item 5, Councillor Taylor.
Coherlock, the area engineer in Tubbercurry will visit the location to meet the graveyard committee to identify the trees or branches of concern and obtain costings for this work. Once this is obtained, the area engineer will revert to Councillor Taylor in relation to this.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Look, it's just that the cemetery committee have been in contact with me on numerous occasions, you know, just very worried about the headstones and the dangers to the general public there. And to be fair to David Golden, the area engineer there, and Brian O'Donnell, the overseer, you know, they are very, they do work with us there on that cemetery. So I'm happy with that, and we'll work away with that. Thank you.
Item 6, Councillor Taylor again.
Seconded.
Yes, works are being carried out at the moment to the boundary wall. So I'm delighted. I did mention this to Desi Sloan, the area engineer, previously, and they're carrying out works at the moment. So I thank them. I thank them for that, and the committee and the community in Clare are very, very happy with this. However, there is this wall probably will become a problem as time goes on, but look, we'll deal with the engineers in the Ballymote area. We'll deal with Desi and the lads out there, I suppose, as the matters arise. But thank you.
All right, everybody happy? Yeah. Item number 7, Councillor Mullaney.
Second.
Yeah. Coherlock, there's a photo there of the pole in question. Now, this is part of a new footpath that form part of traffic calming at the junction of the regional road and the Bunanadden road. Now, in fairness to the engineer Paul O'Rourke there, I think he done an excellent job, but there wasn't enough of funding just to have that pole removed. And I know the ducting is into underground the wiring, but that footpath leads down to the nursing home. And there's a number of people that comes up into the town on wheelchairs. And that pole means that they have to cross the road, go on the footpath on the far side, and they have to cross the road back to go up the centre of the town. So what I'm looking for here, as the motion said, is funding to be made available as soon as possible for the removal of that pole. Is there a report?
Sligo County Council have contacted the ESB in relation to removing the pole, and we're just awaiting a response in relation to where the new location will be.
And can I ask, is there funding, if the ESB is prepared to do this as a matter of urgency, is there funding in place?
I think we'll be able to secure funding for that.
Thanks very much. Good news.
I'd like to compliment Councillor Mullally for having the photograph. A photograph tells 1,000 words, and well done on that.
Thanks. Okay, here, look, just in second, I want to support Councillor Mullaney on that because, as he said there, some of the elderly residents in Coonisa in the new the independent living houses there, some of them, it is an impairment on their ability to go up and down the town, and the regional road is very busy there, so I fully support it.
Item 8, Councillor Mullally and Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, this lighting case now is very much a shot in the dark. I know it has been looked at for a long time, and it's definitely needed because, as Councillor Taylor will be able to explain better than me, Eastern Hearts have 2 pitches, one each side of the road, a training on the right as you go towards School Father. And at times of the year when training is going on close to duskers, it's a health and safety issue as members of the clubs that training has to cross this road. It wouldn't cost a fortune to put a light on it, and it would leave the area much safer.
Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, just to follow on from what Councillor Mullally has said, it is on the public road. You have to cross between from the main pitch to the training pitch. As I say, this ground is used by all age groups. It's the club ground. It's used by all age groups, the ladies of all age groups as well. Some will say it's a big area. I don't know whether it is, but and that, you know, there are many young people training down there at all times. They're actually, I've spoken to the ESB on previous occasions about this, and it actually wouldn't take that much to put a light there in place. And I know that the club and the community would be great benefit to the club and the community. Where you come out the gates, it's kind of blind as well to the cars coming left and right. And, you know, we maybe would look for traffic calming measures at some stage there as well. But it is important to a lot of people. I know it's a rural ground, but it is used by all age groups and by the ladies at all age groups as well. So it would be great if the council were able to help in some way. I think if the council were able to help, the ESB would be forthcoming and the club would be forthcoming as well. So thank you.
Okay, well, I'll read out the response first. The Sligo County Council is operating under significant financial constraints in relation to the provision and maintenance of public lighting. At the moment, there's no capital funding for investment in new public lighting. The provision of standalone projects involving the construction of new lighting together with associated civil works are not currently envisaged. The maintenance fund available is strictly for and targeted at the maintenance of the existing public lighting network. The public lighting budget for 2020 had a significant cost overrun, and the current financial demand on 2021 funds in this regard is unprecedented. But however, I will get a costing for that particular work and revert on it without saying we can deliver, but I will certainly cost it if there's going to be some contribution from the club and the ESB potentially.
We don't put lights on existing poles now anymore. Is that the situation? Because there is an existing pole, is that right, Paul, in a good location, which would shine light over both entrances.
I suppose it depends on is the cabling infrastructure sufficient? That would be probably that's the main cost of it. Yeah.
Maybe, look, I would be happy, Councillor Mullally is happy with your response to maybe have costing around what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Item 9, Councillor Mullally.
Second.
Yeah. The road into Hillsview Drive, there's I think 38 houses in there, and the road is in poor enough condition. There's been nothing done with it for over 20 years, and there's a request from the residents to have it upgraded and
Councillor
Caherlock, in supporting the motion. I fully agree with what Councillor Melania said. I know in November 2019, I had that motion before the agenda, and the reply I was given at the time that there would be a costing done on it, because I know up at the top end of Hillview Drive, where the parking area is, it's very badly eaten up. Now, I know at one of the last roads meetings, I had a proposal in asking that if a portion of our roads money could be used for, we'll say, the likes of the older estates like Hillview Drive and Ballymote, because a lot of these estates, you know, that are a long time in existence, as Councillor Melania said, it's well over 20 years since that housing estate of over 38 houses has received any resurfacing work, bar filling and odd pothole, but it's just wear and tear over the years. And I think that if some small allocation could be put aside each year for local authority estates, it would help maybe to address the ongoing issue. So I fully support the motion.
Yes, Councillor.
Could I just support the motion as well? And could I just say that I feel this is something coming down the line. Tom and Emer, you probably won't want to hear me saying this, but there are a lot of estates. I suppose this might be different to what Councillor Melania is saying, but there are a lot of existing estates probably in the charge of the council now, and have been in the charge of the council for a number of years, and we're probably coming to that time where they're 20 plus years there, and the roadways and the footpaths are falling into disrepair in them. And I believe we need a scheme. I believe that this county will need a scheme very soon for this type of thing. Maybe if it's something like the CIS scheme, I'm not sure that would be able to work, or that the CIS scheme will be able to work for them as well. If we could maybe obtain more money, but we're definitely coming to the years with maybe the first estates since they were built, that are the ones that were built in the late 90s and early 90s, that they are falling into disrepair, and it's going to become it's going to become an issue probably for us as councillors, and it's going to become an issue for the council then. So I do think that maybe that is something that we could discuss further at some stage, or we could be looking into for the future.
I guess the response is in the context of it being from the roads programme perspective, that it's not included in the current roadworks programme, but we will consider it for inclusion in the next 3-year programme.
I think it's definitely has to be a top priority for the next programme. And I take on board what Councillor Taylor is saying about the housing estates, but a lot of those are private housing estates, and this is a local authority one. I'm not sure how a CIS scheme could be operated in a local authority housing estate where the council owns the road, but certainly it's an innovative idea for private housing estates.
That's probably where I'm coming from,
Yeah.
you know, that it's more or less for that. And I don't feel that the area engineers, and I respect your answer, and I'm not biting at your answer at all, but I don't, the area engineers wouldn't have the money in their roadworks programme budget at the moment to cater for private estates, not the one you're talking about, Jerry. But, you know, I think it's going to become very, very important, and it's something that we probably need to be proactive on before it does happen.
No, I want to support the motion as well, and your points, Councillor Melania and Councillor Taylor, in relation to this is going to be a problem that will be popping up in West Sligo and every part of Sligo in the future, and it's something that we will have to examine in our roads programme going forward. Item 10, Councillor Connolly.
Yes, Caherlock. I recently met with the residents of Mountain View, and as you know, this is predominantly a council estate. The residents keep this estate in very good condition. Lawns are cut on a weekly basis, flowers, trees planted, kept in very good condition. But in order to do this and to keep the upkeep as good as it is, of course, they require lawnmowers and strimmers, and items like that are gone very expensive. were they to stop doing this in the state, it would fall then, I suppose, to the council to employ contractors to do this work. And in my opinion, that would end up an awful lot more expensive in the long run. So if they were to get some or any help along the way with this, it would be greatly appreciated.
John, yeah, Mr. Moran.
Sorry, I have a report.
Yeah.
Thanks, Come here. Look, the Estate Enhancement Scheme 2021 was advertised in the press and through the council's website and social media earlier this year with a closing date of the 31st of March. The purpose of the scheme is to support residents' associations of social housing schemes in the county area that wish to avail of funding to help maintain their green and communal areas. The housing section has a limited fund for the disbursement of grants to those who make application, with the available sum of 6,900 for this year divided between the 16 applicants who made application. We didn't receive an application now from the Residents Association referred to, so unfortunately the funding allocated for this purpose has now been fully allocated.
Thanks, Mr. Moran. Do you want to come back on that?
Yeah, I actually gave them forums myself earlier on, and they seem to have an issue with a question about insurance on that forum. Do they require their own insurance, or they do?
Yeah, they
I
do.
see Tom nodding.
Absolutely.
That seemed to be their issue with that.
And I suppose the insurance will overclip the grant. Is that the problem?
Yeah, and along with that, I don't think they wanted the responsibility of that as well, now, to be truthful. You know, they do keep this place, as you all know, very, very...
Councillor Taylor?
Could I just support Councillor Connolly and I think the issue is one of the residents that had carried out a lot of work in the past is now deceased. John Barrett, he was a great resident there. He'd done an awful lot of work, and I do agree with what Councillor Connolly is saying. I think there's representation from Mountain View on most years, to be honest, about this type of thing. It is a big estate now, with much more houses than there have been in it at first. There is a lot of green areas in it as well, and I just, I'd like to support Councillor Connolly in this, because I know the issues are there, and I know that the issue is there with the insurance and with the questions, some of the questions that's on the forms. But if there could be any bit of help from maybe some other fund, maybe just to get them up and running again, they might be able to take it from there themselves then, I would feel. Because, as I said, the John Barrett used to do a lot of work there, and he used to do it with his own tools, and it was his own lawnmowers and everything like that. So maybe if they were given a little bit of help to give them just a start, that they might be able to continue themselves from there.
Okay, here, look, just in support of Councillor Connolly and Councillor Taylor, like, it is, I suppose it's a great thing to see where you have a community or group of residents that are willing to take on these jobs themselves, and I suppose, as we're all well aware, a very small amount of monies, or the likes of a purchase of a lawnmower can be all they need, and I suppose the main thing when an estate is taken in charge, I suppose it's a separate maybe thing that I often am asked. When an estate is taken over by the county council and taken in charge, the onus is on the residents then to maintain the green areas. It's not the county council. Is that correct? Yeah. It's just that I know someone. It is unfortunate that some of the residents, where you could have a big estate and you'll have a couple of handful, and they're willing to take on all these jobs, and it's very important that they want to keep their estate looking good, and whatever assistance can be given to them, I think it's very important.
All right, thanks for that. Okay. Item 11, Councillor Connolly.
Residents of Ballymote Road in Tubbercurry have great concerns about the increase in great concerns about the increase on speed on this road. The speed limit starts at St. Attracta's Secondary School, and it's a 50k speed limit all the way into the traffic lights. This, in my opinion, is approximately a mile or very close to a mile. There are two small 50k speed signs, the size of a saucer. Now, they're not adequate at all. The traffic on this road is extremely heavy, with the secondary school and the Arriva stores, and then there are three big housing estates on it. And the residents of Canuck-Mashi are very concerned because their kids has to cross this road to get to the footpath, going and coming from school or going to football or whatever. The erection of one or maybe two, if possible, if money was available, vehicle activated signs would make an awful difference on this road. I find them very, very effective because they check you into place when you see them. When you see it going red, you will automatically slow down. So, thank you.
Ms. Buchanan, yes.
Queerlock, Sligo County Council has secured funding via Low Cost Accident Scheme 2021 and the Active Travel Scheme 2021 to provide traffic calming and footpath along this section of the R294. As part of the design of these works, the installation of vehicular activated signs will be considered.
That's great news. Thanks very much, Eamon. That is, they weren't aware of that. That is great news, and thanks very much for that.
Well done, Councillor Conley.
Yes.
Next is my own motion in relation to Screen Druard Community Centre. Councillor Queenan, as you know, the bylaws reduce the speed to 60 kilometres at the centre, but the signs that are just non-effective. The people just don't recognise them, and I'm sure Councillor Queenan would be aware of that. Whereas the signs at Templeboy National School are reduced to 50, but they have those signs that are flashing that Councillor Conley just referred to, and they're far more effective. There's a huge length of straight road as it leads into that community centre, and it's a lot of the parents, and it's very, very busy area, and a lot of the parents are asking for enhanced signage there, if it's any way as possible. Yes.
Okay, Queerlock, the signage provided on the N59 is to current standards and the requirements of the requirements of the Traffic Signs Manual. Additional or enhanced signage will be discussed with the safety section of TII to establish if there is a need to provide additional signage.
Thanks for that, Ewan. That's fine. Yeah. Item 13 then is my own road again. I know that Councillor Taylor was at this junction. You were invited to see this junction as well down in Aughris. And there was a number of serious accidents at this junction in later times. And also in relation from the Beach Bar junction to the pier, there is a big wide, the ditches are very far apart, and there is a possibility that the water tables could be cleaned out to and hard curbs so that cars could do on-road parking as they are at the moment, but they can't get in far enough. And the huge success that the Aughris Walk is now, the amount of people that are driving to Aughris now and parking at it and doing the walk and going down for a dip in the pier. And I'd like to thank the Sligo County Council for providing toilets down there, which the huge crowds are attending and using the toilets there for the first time ever. It's an area that we need to provide that service. And I think that if the road was widened and the hardcore was put in, that it would make it a lot safer for ambulances and whatever needs to pass on the day. They're parking there anyway, but they'll be getting an extra 2 foot if they were allowed to keep in closer to the wall. Thanks. Yes, to Councillor Taylor.
Could I just support you on this motion? Yes, I was there. I had an ice cream. Well, no, Councillor Clark bought me an ice cream. I thought he was going to run me, but he bought me an ice cream when I was down there. Look, just to support you on this, and I do see the issue down there. It's an unbelievable tourist attraction down there at the moment. The beach bar itself is a huge tourist attraction as well. the locals, they know the area, they know the roads, but it's the people that are not from the area. It's difficult. The sight lines are difficult when there's cars parked there. If there was a little bit more space for the cars, the sight lines would be a lot better. It's a narrow junction, and look, I do see the issues that the local people down there, from talking to many of them the day I was down there, they've huge issue with this junction, and maybe again, it might not take that much to fix the problem. And I think it would be greatly appreciated by the local community down there, who are working extremely hard with the attraction down there. They really are working extremely hard, and they're very proud of what they have down there. I know, Councillor Clark, you're very proud of that area down there as well. And I would like to support Councillor Clark, and I believe that this situation could be rectified, maybe with minimal cost, to be honest.
Okay, Coherlock, the area engineer will examine this location with a view to providing additional car parking, subject to funding being available, but we will cost it, and we will look at all potential avenues for funding for this.
Thanks. I'm happy with that. Thank you very much. Item 14, Councillor Connolly.
I think all councillors might have got an email on this particular problem. But I met with the parents and the principal of my Lough National School recently. They have grave concerns about safety accessing the school. The school, for those that don't know, is on a slight curve in the road, and sight lines are not that very good. The parents use the church car park, which is across the road from it, as there's not enough space around the school. This means, of course, that the children have to cross the road to access the footpath. Now, this has become a very dangerous road. Traffic has increased on this road by multiples, as it is a shortcut from the N17 to the R296, and avoiding Tubbercurry, of course. Years ago, people would travel through Tubbercurry when traffic wasn't as heavy with these vehicles, and now they seem to be all taking a shortcut, passing down by the school down to Drimroo Crossroads. I'd ask the council and area engineer to have a look at this. It mightn't be that hard solved if there was an entrance and an exit only made to the church car park. It would stop cars going in and out randomly any place they like, and it would make it an awful lot easier for the sight view. Maybe we could apply for some funding under safety improvement schemes or some scheme like that. Thank you, Cahill.
Councillor Taylor.
Here, look, could I just again support Councillor Connolly, and myself and Councillor Connolly have discussed this, and I did get emails as well. It's on a difficult part of the road to know probably what to do with. It is a serious concern for parents, for teachers, and for the children in the school. The road surface is good, which brings its own problems with speed, and that's what we want. We want our road surfaces to be good. Again, this is for the safety of children, and I think it's of the utmost importance that safety works are carried out here. I know the principal there in the school. Very, very good fella. They have tried acquiring more land, I believe, for a car park. I don't think that's going to work either. But it's for the safety of children. It's one of the most important things we'll ever talk about. And I have to compliment Sligo County Council in all areas of this county on the works that have been carried out, for safety from the aspect of health and safety around schools. But this is maybe one that needs attention. This is surely one that needs attention at the moment. So I want to support that, and this is important in that area.
Thanks, Chair. Emer.
Coherlock, the improvement of road safety at Mylock National School would be achieved if the school were in a position to construct an additional car parking facility adjoining the school, similar to those car parking and set down areas that were constructed at Curry National School and Tubbercurry National School in recent years, and also to restrict parking on the public road abutting the existing school set down area via the installation of additional curbing, etc. So funding for such infrastructure could be requested under a CLOR grant application, and the council is available to meet with the school board, local development group to progress such an application for 2022.
Thank you for that, Emer. There is a problem with requiring more land on the school side. I don't think it'll happen, so I appreciate the response, and we may just have that meeting with the council engineers and the local people. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Councillor. Item 15 is correspondence. Yes. Sure.
Regards the acknowledgement from the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage and the Pyrite scheme. And I know we discussed here the last meeting, and Mr. Kilfeather did detailed proposal to the department. Can I ask Mr. Kilfeather, is there any update? We know there is a review going on now, and we'll have it all back in September. Or what, any indication the slide will be included, or have you? Where?
Be honest, Cahill, I hadn't seen even this acknowledgement to the first letter we sent up. I think, as I said at the meeting on Friday, I sent a further correspondence on Thursday last. Again, basically saying we're here, we're willing to administer the scheme if Sligo is approved. The message I had heard back verbally was that the department were going to be engaging with us, and that's supported here by the correspondence. But there's been no request. No formal communication other than in fairness. Now that's an acknowledgement to say they would be in touch, but there hasn't been. But in fairness, I presume they've been dealing with the recent, sort of submissions and engagements, particularly in relation to Donegal. I'd be hopeful that they'll be coming back to us fairly shortly to engage on the matter.
Thank you.
I think the Minister O'Brien confirmed that Sligo County Council had been in touch on live television, and that he will be dealing with that application. So that's positive. Anything else in this correspondence? Any other business?
I can add two things there. One regards the property tax. They have to come to the local, our meeting, which has been brought forward this year.
It's been brought forward this year, Caherlock. It'll be on I know the corporate policy group will be discussing it tomorrow, the fact that it's gone out for public consultation. So it'll likely be on the agenda for your meeting in July, to hold a meeting in July, a special meeting in July to consider the rate for 2022. As you say, the councillor, it's been brought forward this year.
Will be special meeting.
Yeah.
Second issue that we thank you for it. I think Councillor Clark, thank you for that. And we wish you well. We're all behind you. Look, that was another day that football. Could I ask, what I'm hearing now is nothing. You can hear that indicate so many projects coming forward with the council, which is very good, exciting as well. What I'm interested in senior staff is that your sharper staff in virtually all departments, from planning to social. And is any work being done on alleviate at some point having projects going down here, they haven't the people to do it on their own? What's the picture from the department?
I suppose this is an old story, Councillor Quinn, in some sense. In fairness, Kieran Hayes had spoken previously about the need for a dedicated team to bring forward these projects, and that was even before we got the two massive URDF schemes. Which so look, we have management team meeting tomorrow. Emer and Dorothy, in fairness, have been finalising a proposal for, we're calling it Sligo Regional Growth Centre, or Sligo 2040 team. we have written to the department about 3 weeks ago to say that the financial plan is finished now. You know, that the members and ourselves had engaged with in the department, that now we need to put a new financial plan in place. And the reality is we can't deliver on our 17.5 million euro debt without doing something different in terms of the major projects you're talking about, Councillor Queen. And you know, you can add to that list, you can add, you know, the enhancement schemes plan for Inniscrone, you can add the surf centre in Strandhill, you can add the plaza in Stephen Street, and the next phase of the Economist Street enhancement scheme. You know, the Caherlock referred to many of them this morning. So we're absolutely, there's a huge amount of schemes. We are putting a structure to the department in the next couple of weeks, and the incoming CE, I'm sure it'll be the first thing on his agenda, is to get that team set up and established. You know, that we can't do it otherwise because of the issues you're saying. We've active travel. We're a 5-year programme for that. In fairness, we have been approved staff for that. We'll be focusing on getting staff in for that. Housing, John is aware, we've made a submission to the department for, I think it's 7 staff, John, for the housing programme. We're in there fighting and looking for staff, Councillor Queen, and you're right, can't be delivered without staff.
Councillor Baker.
Just to thank Tom on all your good work, and what comes back to me, Councillor Clark, I think it's one of the people that have organised the meeting was with the department with Shane Ross about looking at, we had major issues, and I said it was the only meeting that I was ever at. Tom, you were totally on top of your brief, but everything you mentioned that day was delivered and well delivered. And the feeling I got from the meeting was Mr. Ross himself didn't seem to have huge age on us, but as man that was taking the notes on that, he was, and the submission you give that day was unreal, and I couldn't believe everything was delivered and well delivered. And thankfully, thanks very much for your total commitment to this county. Thank you.
I just want to add to that the team there, when I went back after to Ross's team and to his secretary and Ross himself, he was incredibly impressed with Mr. Culfeather and the way he presented it. And it was very clear what needed to be done, and it was an open door. Maybe if he was there, we'd have Tom in the big job now, but with
Good man. We're in for good times.
so any other business? Can I just open the door maybe for Councillor Connolly here on an issue that we're being contacted? There's a commemorative wall in Banada. Councillor, do you want to say anything about that? Or
Yeah, Sean owns.
Yeah.
Sean. Yeah. Sean is looking for funding, basically, of up to 8,000 to put a plaque. Is that the figure? Yeah. To put a plaque in commemoration of fallen people in the troubled times in the Peace Garden there in Banadas. And yeah. Right.
Oh, that's good news because he's continuing to.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place, and it's very well kept, and it'll be another addition to it. Like, yeah.
Well said. Okay, so this is my last meeting as chair, and I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Jane and Mary and Clodagh and all officials in Sligo County Council. There have been unbelievable support, and my admiration for the team in the council here, the executive and everybody that's here working for the betterment of the county. It grows and grows every year. And maybe I came in here 11, 12 years ago with a bit of a chip on my shoulder, but when you get in to see the amount of work and the hours that these guys in the executive put in to delivering for the county, it's unreal. And still have time to listen to us whinging and moaning and everything else. And I really appreciate the work. And I'd like to thank you, my colleagues, for a great year, for all your support. And politically, it was one of the greatest honours of my lifetime politically to sit here and chair this municipal district, and I'd like to thank you all very much for that. So if this, yes, Councillor Mullaney.
Yeah, Cathaoirleach, look, I want to compliment you on your year in the chair. I think you've done an excellent job. You were fair, you were efficient, you were courteous, you kept us in the loop. And, I think it wasn't an easy year either, but this municipal authority worked excellently. We all get on very well together here. There's no big story out any meeting, only success stories. And that's the way I think we need to keep it. I also want to thank the staff, and in particular Mr. Kilfeather, for all his work during the year and all the years. And, I think everything you have said about the excellent staff and how hard work is very true. And we're very fortunate in this county to have the type of staff. I see it in our own area in Ballymote with Desi and his team, another excellent operator, does a week and a half's work every week. And always at the end of the phone, always a joy to deal with, straight, uncomplicated, just tells you the way it is. And that ethos goes right through the staff in this county. So I just want to thank everyone, and in particular yourself, for your courtesy and help over the year.
I'd just like to thank you for an excellent job done over the year. You have been always very fair, and no matter when we rang you about anything, you were always there to accommodate us. And as I said before, all the staff who have worked huge hard under awful conditions like so, they really put the shoulder to the wheel, and hopefully the things are getting brighter now. So thank you. Well done.
I'd like to be associated with the comments of my colleagues. I had the honour to nominate you last year, propose you last year for the job, and you've done an excellent job. And maybe for higher things in the years ahead.
Councillor Taylor.
I would like to congratulate you, Councillor Clark. You're a very cool, calm presence in the chair. You are a very wise, intelligent and charming man, as you'd say yourself.
Thank you.
But you have been a total calming influence on all councillors, and Councillor Mullaney has said that this is a great group to be involved in. We work well together, and the work is done as well by the area engineers, as has been alluded to, and the staff absolutely second to none. Tom, I spoke about your leadership qualities this morning, absolutely second to none as well. But we've a great team. I'm delighted to hear, as I've spoke about before, that we are looking for staff as well in all areas, because I think we need them in all areas. But the staff are working really well, even as they're doing this a week and a half's work in a week, probably most of the time now. But I'm delighted to hear that that's going to happen. I know it was a great honour for you to become the chair of this municipal district, and I will be fully supportive of greater honours for you in the future. Thank you.
Mr. Connolly.
I think Councillor Queenan is looking for all these fellas to get out of the way and go for the dolls. Yeah. Councillor Clark. No, I'd just like to thank you, Michael, for your courtesy and for the way you have ran every meeting. You could set your clock at it like it's in, the business is done and gone, and I wish you the best of luck if you want to have a go at something bigger in the future. No problem. Thanks.
Councillor Mulvey.
Yeah, thanks, Cathaoirleach, and I want to reiterate what my colleagues have said. You've done an excellent job in the position this year, and it was great that you were so efficient, and you worked well with us across all the issues we brought in front of you, and you were very cool and very respectful, give every one of us a chance to get in on the issues we were speaking on. And I think, as the other councillors just said, look, we have the number we have here together, even though we all represent maybe different sections or different groups, we all work well together, and we leave that behind us when we come in the chamber. We all get on well, and which is very important, that we try and when motions come in, if there is a particular item in an area, that will support each other and try and ensure that it's delivered with, because this area that we represent is 3 municipal districts, and one, it's West Sligo, East Sligo, like your Ballymote area, Tubbercurry area and West Sligo. It's a huge geographical area, from, Inniscrone right up to Ballyfern and up to Killard. And, the fact that we all try and pull together. And I know one of the things, just to thank you, and I know you've been working away, is to see the great progress. At least now we have seen progress on the N17. We have seen, works on that, and it's great to see progress on a route that, for so many people that use it, it's one of the issues. So I know you're certainly leaving your year in the chair, you're leaving the position considerably better off, with you being in the chair. So well done, Michael.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Mr. Cleller.
Just to finish, just to join with your colleagues and just thanking you. You're a very positive man, and I think at every meeting you speak positively and you speak very clearly, and there's never, you tell it as it is. And I think it has been challenging for this municipal district, particularly after losing a councillor the last time around. And, the cake is bigger, and there's more to do. But, I'd have to say I think this municipal district works extremely well, and with ourselves as well. And if we had more money, of course, we'll get more done. But do you know what? I don't think we do too bad in the circumstances.
Very
good. Thank you, Claire.
I suppose I admit to say the outdoor staff and the work to do on the roads is impeccable. This year's work is even class. And Councillor Taylor spoke this morning about the major routes. We have also the one at Ballysadere out to Larkhill, which will probably come in before the N17. And we look forward to all those projects going ahead and have the support. So that concludes the business of the meeting. Can I take it that we can go straight to the AGM now? Huh? So the first item on the agenda is the nomination. Okay, so we'll wait for Kevin. Oh, no, oh, bring him in. James. You're not find that out. Should have a clue on him. Right. Well, I propose you then. Okay, councillors, can we take our seats so we'll go ahead with it? I think the media is still with us. I see Cahill and, yeah. Who's? John Tom, right, okay, yeah. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is the election of Cahirlock. Councillor Mullaney.
But I propose Councillor Martin Connolly for the position of Cahirlock. Councillor Connolly joined the council in 2019, representing the Ballymote Tubbercurry area. He is a tireless worker for many, many years for his community in Moyla and in a wider area now since he became a councillor. He's been involved in his local GA club, Curry GA, particularly training the senior ladies, which he's done an excellent job on there. And he'd been known locally as the popular postman. So I just want to nominate him for the position of Cahirlock.
Cahirlock, I'd like to second the proposal of the name of Martin Connolly for the position of Cahirlock. I have known Martin for many years and I know Martin will fulfil his role as Cahirlock with great dignity. Martin is a great worker and I'm delighted to see his family here today to be able to see the position that Martin has worked towards in his first term on the council. Martin is very obliging, very friendly, very helpful, and that's a great testament to his election to Sligo County Council. And I know that if Martin gets the honour of Cahirlock, that he'll carry it out with the very best of his ability, and I certainly will give him my full support in that role if successful.
All right, there's no further nominations. So I take it that we have elected a new chairman to the Ballymote Tubbercurry Municipal District in the name of Councillor Martin Connolly. And I wish Councillor Connolly well in the year ahead and to his wife Stephanie and his family, Stephen and Colin and Bernard and Nicola and the rest of the family. And you're all delighted. I'm delighted to see you here in the chamber today. If he thinks half as much of the honour that I enjoyed for the last year as it will be for him to carry the chain of this area around for the following year, he'll enjoy his year. I'm handing back the chain in the exact same condition as I got it because it was never out of the box once. No, I invite Councillor Collins to come to the chair. No.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. And it's a great honour for me to have been selected chair of the Tubbercurry Ballymote West Sligo municipal area. 2 years ago, I could never have seen myself being in this position anyway. When I got nominated to stand for the election, it would never have even been in my wildest dreams. Firstly, I'd like to thank my proposer, Councillor Jerry Mullaney, and my seconder, Councillor Darren Mulvey, and indeed each and every one of the councillors in this area. I have learned no end from you in the last 2 years. I came in here very green. Some might say I'm still fairly green, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'd like to welcome my family here today. My wife Stephanie, my son Stephen and his wife Nicola, my son Colin and his wife Emer, and my daughter Bernadette and my 4 grandchildren. It's a great honour to them to even come in and see the chamber and see how we work and see what happens and see what it's like. I don't think any of them had ever been in here before. I'm not going to give no long speeches now. I had no long speeches written out or anything for this. I'd like to look forward to working with the executive as the chair here, and I have no doubt that there'll be no issues in that regard. And for my own area, I would like to see a few things progress on the N17 that was mentioned there. The health centre in Tubbercurry is one of my things that I would love to see. It is not adequate at all for the population of the area. I would like to see it move on big time. Of course, the water treatment plant is there or thereabouts. I wouldn't say 100%, but it's nearly there. And the Garda barracks then has been purchased by the OPW, and we have to keep the pressure on in this municipal area to get that over the line. And it's no good at sitting there like a white elephant from now on either. It's purchased, it needs to move on, the guards need to get into it, and I believe there's office space in it as well, and I will try and work to get that done in this particular year anyway. So look, once again, thanks to everybody who supported me, and thanks to my proposer and seconder. Thanks very much. Councillor Mullaney.
Yeah, just to congratulate you on your election. I'm sure you'll do an excellent job. No more than the man that has gone before you. You're a consensus person, somebody that likes to see everybody included and see everybody gets the best possible result out of each and every meeting. I want to congratulate Stephanie and your family. I think it's a great day for them. It's a great honour for you, a great honour for Tubbercurry, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Councillor Mullaney. Councillor Taylor.
I want to congratulate you, Councillor Connolly, on your new post. I want to welcome Stephanie and Stephen and Colin, Bernadette, Nicola and Emer, and all the kids. It's great to hear the voices here, and the young voices here in the chamber as well. You've been a very welcome addition as a councillor to the area, and you've taken to this job like a duck to water. A great worker, great communicator, and just an all-round gentleman. And I know you've many contacts from your time in Gerching. Not too many, I hope, but you still have a few. You certainly have no enemies, I can tell you that. And I think one of the best tributes I can give you is when you were canvassing in that area. There was nothing only admiration for you, and for the type of person you were. So, as I said, a gentleman, an all-rounder, and I wish you the best of luck, and you know you will have my full support for the year ahead.
Councillor Mulvey.
Yeah, thanks, Cathaoirleach, and just to concur with what has been said, I want to congratulate you on your election. It's a great honour for you, your wife Stephanie, and all your family here today to be elected as Cathaoirleach of the municipal district. As has been said, you're a thorough gentleman, and the only thing I'd say to you when you're out on the rounds now in the morning, it's no harm maybe bring an extra shirt and a tie with you, because you'd know when you'd be called on to turn up at some event or something. So, you know, I wish you well in it. You're a very easy man to get on with, Martin, and you know, you're definitely for the betterment of South Sligo, and you'll work, and we know that you'll represent this municipal district as good as you can, and that you will certainly put southwest Sligo and East Sligo to the forefront at all times. Best of luck, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Mulvey. Councillor Baker.
Just like to congratulate you and welcome your family here to the chamber today. It's going to be a great honour for you, and no better man to do the job. And maybe before the year is out, you might be able to have one of the meetings in your own hometown. So I wish you the very best of luck, and we'll all work strongly with you. Thank you.
Councillor Baker. Councillor Queenan.
Be associated with the words of congratulations from my fellow colleagues and welcome your family here today. It's a great honour for you, Martin, and I know you'll do a good job. You're a nice guy, and you're all about consensus and common sense. And as previous speakers have said, that this 7 team here will work great together. Never any controversy with the officials, and that's the way we're going to try and keep it for the next 3 years. Please God. Well done, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Queenan. Councillor Clare.
Just again, that's what I said earlier, to wish you luck and to say that you'll have my full support for the year ahead, and you have my number if I can be any assistance to you any time, no problem.
Thank you. Mr. Gilfella.
Cathaoirleach, just to congratulate you on behalf of all the staff and to wish you well for the year, and you will have the support of all the staff. As the councillors have said, you're a gentleman, even in the short time that we've known you, and you're fortunate that you're among a team of gentlemen here, and I think that's why the municipal district does, I'll say it again, that's why it works so well, and we look forward to working with you in the 12 months ahead, Martin. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Gilfella, and I'd just like to say thanks to the executive again and to all the girls here. They're maybe never recognised enough for all the work they do and supplying us with agendas and everything else that we require along the way. We may not respect that enough in times. And as Councillor Baker said, with the help of God, when COVID is over, we might get back to the one-stop shop in Tubbercurry for 1 or 2 meetings before this year is out. Now, the other next number 2 on the floor to elect a last Cathaoirleach. And I have a proposer.
What's the name of Darragh Mulvey?
Thank you. No other proposer? Oh, agreed. Congratulations, Darragh.
Cathaoirleach, thanks. Look, I didn't expect and delighted. Thanks, Councillor Clerk and Councillor Maloney. And look, I'll certainly assist you in any way I can during your term as Cathaoirleach. Thank you. We'll all be behind Paul Taylor going over.
If it's a problem, I'll send Mulvey. I'm dying to give this hammer a bang. That's it.